Well, hello, I'm Nathan Judah. I'm here with Wolves reporter Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, Palace 2, Wolves 0. There's fireworks going on behind us, but there wasn't a lot of fireworks on the pitch this afternoon.
It's touch and go between that and the Brentford performance for the worst of the season.
Yeah.
I might have to have a think about it because Brentford was bad, but that just never got going Wolves today.
No.
It was they seem to adopt a very solid and counter-attacking style, solid defensively, I mean, and they're doing that without Adama Traore on the pitch, which for me doesn't make any sense. If you're going to play Francisco Trincao, you play him because you're going to have more of the ball, you're going to sweep the ball out to him, he's going to have time, he's going to pick passes, he's going to get the ball in the box, he's going to do something with it, hopefully.
Yeah.
And he had a decent performance against Everton, doing exactly that. And they came here, didn't have much of the ball. It was screaming out for a change much earlier than we had them, and it never came. And then Traore came on, went into right wing back, and it didn't make any sense to me personally. Speaking to Bruno just very quickly on that, he says that he wants his team to have more of the ball, and that he doesn't want the ball to be sitting back and defending away from home. But it's been a bit of a pattern, hasn't it? Leeds, it was very similar, and it just feels like those away performances are going in that mould at the moment.
It just screams to me like an opportunity missed. I mean, it's a free hit today. They've had a great run. If they won today, they'd been in the top 6 flying, going to the international break with West Ham to come, Burnley, Norwich. And they just didn't really play. They didn't look like they like I say, they were poor in possession when they did. They were very passive in their play. They weren't pressing like we saw against Everton. Whether or not he selected the right team. I mean, we talk about Trincao, I thought was poor today, but end of the day, I mean, there were 7 or 8 who were under par today. So
no, you're right.
They've got to be better than that, don't they?
Probably more than 8, to be honest. They have to be much better than that. What they did against Everton was they hunted Everton down, won the ball back quickly, pressed high, had the crowd on them all the way, and they created abundance of chances. Today, they barely had the ball. They lost every battle in midfield. Jules was the key word that Bruno kept using, and I agree with him. They lost every second ball, every aerial attempt, and never got the ball into those forward areas. And you forget that Raul was playing at times because he wasn't getting the service. Swang was quiet. We mentioned Trincao, he was poor today, but in midfield they lost everything. For me, I said at half time, you either bring Traore on earlier and play in right wing, or you bring on Dendoncker and you play 3 in midfield. And they did neither. They brought Traore on in 65th minute, whatever it was. Yeah. See what that was working, but that was Zaha.
Mr. Wilfred Zaha,
God, he's annoying, isn't he?
Good player though.
Yeah, he is a good player.
Good player, and
he
is annoying, but he's annoying to the opposition. He scored against Man City, he scored again today, and sometimes you need that finisher. And at the moment, Wolves are lacking that kind of cutting edge, and the person who can stick the ball in the back of the net. Apart from Hwang in those, who takes his goals well. Jimenez has now got 2 for this season. You look at Trincao, you look at Moutinho, you look at Neves, and you're thinking, well, there's maybe 5 or 6, 7 goals between them all season in that team. So there needs to be some more attacking input in there.
You're right, but what we have seen, you come through the first 3 games and they didn't score. Then they were only scoring in the second half. Then they started to score goals, and they got 2, 3 a game, getting them first half, second half. So they can do it. This team can do it. Don't get me wrong, the performances haven't been unbelievable in every single game. They've had a good first half at Everton, poor second. Newcastle was somewhat similar. Here was poor overall. It's not been perfect, but they have scored goals.
Is this the right formation, do you feel? Do you feel that maybe the formation might need to change, or is it that they've just got to put it down to a poor performance and go again against West Ham?
I think you have to take stock and look at it as a poor performance on its own, isolate it. I think it's the right formation for the squad he's got now. I think you make 1, 2, 3 signings in January. I think you change that formation for me. A centre-back, potentially a backup striker and a midfielder, and for me you go 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, something like that. Get playing up there with him as most likely, or whoever the striker comes in if they do bring one in. I think there is room to change it. I think with the squad they've got right now, it's the best they're going to do.
There's question marks over the substitutions in previous games, but look, it's worked out okay for Wolves. It didn't today, and I feel, and I think most of the fans felt that there could be changes made quicker than that. Look, maybe it might not be because of that's the reason they're conceded, but at the same time, do you feel that maybe it is an opportunity? Wow,
that was loud.
Wow.
2 things for me.
One, that's what I'm struggling to hear in my left ear. Yeah. 2.
No. Too slow, yes, but quicker than previous games, because we've been looking at 75th, 80th minute before subs in previous games. Still too slow. For me, it would have been half time, and that would have been Traore on. Secondly, bringing Traore on and bringing him into right wing backs made no sense to me. I understand the idea, they're bringing Daniel Podence on as well. Traore, they want more attacking players on the pitch, taking Semedo off. He did nothing in the rugby, you know.
That's not where it's going to hurt you when you're chasing
exactly.
the game.
You want him further up the pitch, and they didn't even get the ball to him either. It was, it didn't make sense to me. It was very Nuno-esque put in there, if I can put it that way. And it didn't make sense to me at all. So I'd have done it earlier, or you bring Dendoncker on at half time, play 3 midfield, go 2 up top. At that point, it's 0-0.
Sure.
They might have walked away with a point today, and that would have been a good point, because I think Palace, give them credit, were very good today.
Easy to say, good time for an international break, but at the same time, you know, you don't really got time to work with players because half of them are away. So, look, you go again against West Ham, and I assume we will see a couple of changes.
You'd imagine so. You want to be on the front foot against West Ham, at home particularly, and they're a very dangerous side. You give them opportunities, they'll take them. Yeah. They're in form. You've got to be on the front foot, you've got to go for it. I think Aït-Nouri again, I thought did okay today. He was up there, was one of Wolves' best players, which isn't much of a compliment to be honest, but I thought he did alright.
I thought Kilman did fine.
I thought Moutinho, after his silly booking, did better than Neves. Again, they both lost control of the field, I thought he was better. But you go into this game against West Ham in a couple of weeks, and you probably want Traoré in there.
Maybe Dendoncker.
It's difficult because I actually quite like the pairing between Neves and Moutinho this season. Today it didn't quite work.
Dare I say Willy Boly?
There's an argument again to mention about the defence. They were too slow coming out. You know, the midfield for both and the defence, for both goals, slow in closing down the midfielders, and then for the Zaha goal, the first one, Sison and Cody too slow coming out. So you make those kind of small errors, and it's in the Premier League it results in 2 goals.
You need to go home and get your 11 trains and then 12-hour journey back.
I'll be home by midnight probably at this road.
Palace 2, Wolves 0 for the post-match reaction. Make sure you log on to expressandStar.com.